This is the Speak For Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. It's Friday. We're calling it Dance Party Friday. 2 days to the Super Bowl, final show of the week. Oh man, what a week it's been, and what a show we've got today to close it down from Houston. Colin doesn't believe in teams of destiny. Whitlock is still screaming, rise up. I think it's 5 days in a row now, and he swears the Falcons are going to be the Cubs and the Cavs in the year of the underdog. Super Bowl champ Ray Lewis claims Tom Brady's legacy will be hurt if he loses 3 Super Bowls. This is a great point that nobody else is making. Brady at 4-2 is the best, but at 4-3, is he better than 4-0 Montana? Hall of Famer Chris Carter says you can have a slogan all you want, but when your cleats cross the sideline, it's every man for himself. FS1 analyst Greg Jennings stops by. He makes a pick that I don't like in the Super Bowl. Vikings receiver Stephon Diggs is here. Former Jets offensive lineman Willie Colon is in the building. And of course, we're talking Tony Romo. Ready for Speak For Yourself? Cowherd and Whitlock, take it away.
Discovery Green in Houston for Super Bowl 51. Colin, what'd you do last night? Did you party? Or?
No, I was in bed last night. I haven't even told you what time it was. It was 8:50.
My God.
Come on, you got to pace yourself. You can't get all your energy away in the first quarter.
You can't do it.
There's a fourth quarter.
Hey, if I was on radio talking to myself for 3 hours, I'd be in bed at 8.
Yeah, I'd be in bed at 8 too. I was out a little later than that, but anyway, joining us on the panel, I'm going to start with Ray Lewis, one of the greatest players of all time, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Ray Lewis. Also on the panel, the Charles Barkley of football, a Hall of Famer for the Minnesota Vikings, one of the best broadcasters and football players. Why they laughing? Charles Barkley of football, that's a hell of a compliment.
You could have told me that 2 weeks ago, yeah, but after what he said about LeBron, no, I want to be somebody else.
Oh, okay.
I want to be somebody else.
Let me think of who it is. We won't go there, all right? Let's start with the Patriots, who are looking for some revenge on Sunday after their battle with the league over Deflategate. Dominated headlines for over 2 years. Here's Patriots owner Robert Kraft on whether it's his team against the world.
Right now it is, yeah. And that's okay because we have a saying, every negative situation, you can make it into a positive if you manage it right. And in a unique way, what's happened to us this year has brought our team together even closer. It's brought our fan base. They are so passionate.
Absolutely.
Everywhere we go. So we're happy to be in this position.
All right, Colin, is New England versus everybody, is that an appropriate slogan for the New England Patriots?
No, but in my years of covering sports, it's a really effective one. I covered Jerry Tarkanian for years, and if there wasn't somebody chasing him, then he would make it up. Of all the sports slogans we have, the one that seems to empower players is nobody wants us to win. The league is rooting against us. The refs are rooting against us. The media is rooting against us. The league is obviously not against New England. But I do think it's part of sort of Boston's charm. The region of Boston, they're just cranky. They're parochial. They think everybody's against them. Yeah. They make up stuff why the Red Sox didn't win. They're making up stuff now about Deflategate. In the end, it'll work a little, but it is effective.
I'm used to coaches and players adopting the us against the world slogan. But we're talking about a billionaire, Robert Kraft. We're talking about an owner who is respected all around the league.
Yeah.
I do think it's an appropriate slogan for what they actually feel in terms. Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games. And no matter how anybody else sees the Patriots' history of pushing the rules, you're talking about Tom Brady, and he's sitting there going, I got 4 games? they were lighter initially on Ray Rice than me, so they feel picked upon. When you talk about Deflategate and now the media has been on this thing about, well, they're friends with Donald Trump and we should hate him over that. I get why they've embraced the everybody's against us mentality. I think it fits this team to a T.
What do you think, Chris? I would love to hear this.
Well, I think that the craft has been under attack, so it's more like his family, not only the team, but just his family legacy. So when you look at the way he's looking at it, the overall valuation of his team has probably gone up 5 times since he bought the Patriots. He's a true sports fan, was a season ticket holder, sat there in the bleachers when they were an awful franchise and an awful team. So going through all the success they've had in the last 15 years, and given how people don't like the Patriots, like it's not, coaches don't like them, players don't like them, a lot of the fan bases don't like them. So yes, it's nice that they still have one message. It's consistent from the owner to the coach, through the quarterback, into the fans.
Yeah, it's hard, though. It's hard to paint them as a victim.
I wouldn't paint them as a victim. Listen, are they the team against everybody else? Absolutely. They're the team that's on top. Right? Every other year they're on top.
Right.
So of course they're against everybody else, right? But I think when you start to take that approach, 1999, Brian Billick comes in. We're playing defense at that time, Chris, the way people weren't playing defense. We physical, we hitting people in the mouth. We making sure you feel us by the time the game is over.
You're talking about your Ravens
Absolutely,
team. Yes.
the Raven teams. And so when Billick started to come in there, 2000 comes around and we picked to lose every game. Remember this, 2000, we were picked to lose every game that entire year, right? Same year. Offense don't score a touchdown in 5 weeks. So it's like, you know what? Everybody done counting us out. Us against the world, us against the world, us against the world. And so every time we came in there, we was like, look, we don't want to talk to the media like that. Only thing that matters is everybody in these 4 quarters.
Hold on, Ray. I want to keep it all the way 100, all the way 100. Look, this is one of the reasons why when we got early in the week, you talk about you didn't respect the Patriots.
Yeah.
This is one of the main reasons why I think you should respect the Patriots.
I don't, see, this is what I keep telling you. You keep saying, I don't respect the Patriots. You got to understand what I did against the Patriots. It was a game for you, it was a war for me.
Got it. But I'm just asking, again, Ray, you went through some things where people wanted to bring up things off the field that they don't have a full understanding of and use it against you. So I know at some point you felt you against the world, the Ravens against the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the whole thing about it is when you have some, and that's what I'm saying about the Patriots, rightfully so, they are that team. And until somebody finds a way to dethrone them, they will continue to be that team.
Most of my childhood, we haven't seen this recently, but most of my childhood, if you went and watched the Lakers on the road, everybody had a sign that said beat LA. Nobody's ever had a sign that said beat Sacramento.
Right. Yes.
And the reason is because when you're great for a long time, everybody sort of is against you.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, seriously, they are the most hated team in the league.
Does that mentality give them any edge on Sunday?
No.
Well,
no?
Man, listen, when you walk over them lines, you can have a slogan, you can have a T-shirt, you can have your mama's name written on your cleats, you can have your girlfriend on your wristband. Listen, when that dude hits you, can't nobody help you. Like, it's every man for himself. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful trying to talk yourself into a fight. It's kind of like the dog that's barking behind the gate, and one day he come out there barking, the gate open. He have to go out there and fight for himself.
So we come out 2012. We lose 2011 to New England, right? Field goal, drop pass. We come back 2012. The first thing we said, look, we ain't even accepting this, it's us against the rural Patriots. They can't lose. The bottom line is, lock the damn gates when we get through those doors, and I guarantee you they ain't getting out of this.
The Pats may be the favorites, but Fox Sports says Atlanta may have a higher power on their side. Writing it feels like the Falcons are destined to be Super Bowl 51 champions. Ridiculous team of destiny.
Hell yes, I believe it. Hell yeah. The Falcons are about to rise up. It's the year of the underdog. We've seen the Cubs. We've seen the Cavaliers. The city of Atlanta has one championship, not Super Bowl. Never had a Super Bowl champion. It's the year of the underdog city.
Okay.
I love this rivalry. I love this Super Bowl. A lot of people think, the Patriots gonna handle it. No way. This is hip hop versus rock and roll is dead.
Everybody's buying into this whole destiny thing. I'm just going to look at some stats.
Oh, boy.
Is Atlanta's 27th ranked defense, is that destiny too?
Rise up!
Is their dead last in the NFL red zone defense, is that destiny too?
Rise up!
I'll say it again. The only team of destiny I like is at Treasures next to the Houston Gallery.
Happens to be a man of faith, and often we happen to talk to God.
Yeah.
So this morning, we asked him. God said, I'm busy. You see what's going on in Washington, D.C.? I ain't got time for no destiny. I'm too busy right now. I got other more important things to be worried about besides the Atlanta Falcons. If there was a team of destiny, it was the 1998 Vikings. All-time leading scoring team, African-American quarterback Randall Cunningham, unbelievable story coming out of retirement. Denny Green, the potential to be the first African-American head coach in the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl. Randy Moss, 17 touchdowns rookie year. Chris Carter playing 12 years without a Super Bowl appearance. That was a team of destiny. Now, God, where were you then? Now, where were you? Where were you, God? Now, you know me.
We already know. The Vikings
God, you know me.
Vikings been to the Super Bowl 4 times.
I'm your boy.
Look, I tell you what. Whether they're a team of destiny or not, all of those weapons they got on offense, they can make it a team of destiny very quick. I tell you that much.
If players, here's the thing about all this stuff. If players believe it, whatever a player believes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, you would say things when you get your team all worked up in Baltimore. Whether it worked or not,
it worked.
It worked for you, and it worked for teammates. So a lot of times, if you look at all, like, it doesn't matter if it's McDonald's or Pepsi or some big company and they have a slogan. If half the audience buys into the slogan, then it works.
So who you think all this pressure is on if this is really a team of destiny?
The pressure?
Yeah. Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's on Matt Ryan.
It's all on Matt Ryan. If this team is going to go do what they're supposed to do, which I believe they have the ability to do it. From me watching a personal game against what they did against Green Bay, if this team has to do that, Matt Ryan has to be the one to outplay Tom Brady, who's won 4 Super Bowls.
Because it's not going to be Atlanta's defense.
It will not be Atlanta's defense.
Tom could play poorly, and they could win 28-27 because the defense he's right. Matt Ryan's facing...
Hold on, I want to circle back, though, because Colin and Chris are making fun of destiny. And Ray, I know you believe, because you know what faith can do. And it's what Colin was saying. If a man believes it, if a team believes that they're a team of destiny, they can will that and believe that into action on the field and into action overall. I saw it with you and the Baltimore Ravens. Y'all believe something.
Yeah,
Y'all
but they
believe in the
also have Hall of
brotherhood.
Famer.
Ray, can I add a little story?
Please.
I was on the field for Ray Lewis's last game.
Yeah.
Because I was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Ray might have been maybe 60% of who Ray Lewis really is an athlete.
Yeah.
But his overall leadership from the coin toss, he told me, Chris, this is it. This is the last horse to ride. So that overall belief in what he willed his body to do, which willed his teammates to do. So I just have to step in because at being selected on that day, it was a day to remember. It was his last game. And yes, it does help. Sometimes whatever the player believes is
rise up! Rise up!
No, listen. So it's funny because every halftime, from the Colts to Denver to New England, I went in at halftime and I asked the coach to just trust me with this. Just trust me with the team. Because I've seen New Orleans. I've seen it. But you got to go through something to see it. And when I tore my tricep, I knew that was my last ride. So when I tore my tricep, I came back to the guys and I said, look, I see New Orleans, but we're going to have to do a lot to get there. And so what I'm telling you is every halftime, Colin, we would all grab hands and we would all recite Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. And every time we walked out of Denver and the first freaking kickoff return goes to the freaking end zone, and I'm walking down the sideline saying, no weapon. They don't know what the end result going to be like. So when destiny, when you make up your mind to chase destiny, but you make up your mind to influence men to chase destiny, they ain't no man on this earth can stop that.
Ooh, that's a good preaching message. Ooh, that's $100 in the offering plate. Preach, preacher. Preach. Oh, preach. Oh, give him $100.
Hold it.
Preach.
I can use that as treasures later.
Right.
The key to destiny got to eat.
I can use this as treasures later.
Colin Cowherd is on the panel, plus Ray Lewis and Chris Carter. And we're still talking about Sunday's quarterbacks. Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, with a win, Brady would become the first quarterback ever to win 5 rings, while a loss would drop his Super Bowl record to 4-3. Ryan, meanwhile, has the most passing yards of any quarterback in the first 9 years, but is still looking for that first Super Bowl win. Jason, who has more on the line this weekend, Brady or Matt Ryan?
I think this is easy. It's Matt Ryan. Look, Tom Brady's legacy is secure. He has an argument that he's the greatest quarterback and greatest football player of all time. That's not going to change, win or lose. This is his 7th Super Bowl appearance. Look, 3 losses didn't hurt John Elway. He offset him with 2 victories. Brady's already got 4. And so I think the more Super Bowl appearances he has, that's all. Win or lose doesn't matter for Brady. For Matt Ryan, this is his opportunity to establish himself as a highly elite quarterback, put himself in the same class with the Drew Brees and some of the elite quarterbacks. Matt Ryan has all the pressure on him.
The other thing is that Tom Brady doesn't necessarily have to be great. Their defense is really good, especially in the red zone. To me, if I told you right now, Brady plays poorly, Matt Ryan plays poorly, who wins? New England. Matt Ryan has no choice. That defense is 27, and it's young. They're gonna make mistakes. I think Matt Ryan not only has more on the line, but the pressure's on Matt Ryan.
I kind of disagree with your take, though. That they got 2 running backs that can offset if Matt Ryan is slow for a half or a quarterback or for a quarter. Those running backs can carry the load.
I definitely feel like Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, they can definitely carry the load. They're very versatile. You can line Tevin up as a receiver. He can run routes just as well as a receiver. And Devontae Freeman, he's just very all around. So he can do a lot of different things. They have so many different weapons.
Yeah. Look, man, you just talked about this. I think Matt Ryan, of course, has pressure on him. I do. But Tom Brady can't lose another Super Bowl.
Why?
That's 3 Super Bowls lost. No champion is trying to lose like that.
We have a 4 win.
And the saying will never change. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, but in 10 years.
You can't go back and count that.
4 Super Bowls.
If Tom Brady walks off that field, and I'm telling you this, let me tell you something nobody pays attention to. Nobody highlights this because it's all the confetti and it's everything dropping. The one thing you never want to see is the team that loses the Super Bowl that walks off that freaking field because it forever changes their lives.
Yeah, but Tom's lost twice, and we're still saying he's the best, aren't we?
Yeah, well, Jordan, let's go to you because I think the quarterback that gets the most help, like the one who has, say, Deion Lewis. The last 16 games, Deion Lewis has suited up for New England. They've won. Which group of running backs do you think is going to help this quarterback who's under the most pressure? But which group of backs do you think are going to figure to maybe flip the balance of the scale in the favor of that team?
I feel like the Falcons backfield because there's a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan. I feel like he's going to might come out pressing things because it's his first Super Bowl. He might not know what to expect. So I definitely feel like he might be trying to press. He might be a little nervous, but I feel like having those backs can help offset.
Yes, Matt Ryan, he will be pressing, but I'm going to look at this a different way. Because Tom Brady, for the rare time, he gave us a little look inside himself, and you saw that he was human. This is the first game to culminate the season that he was suspended. his mom has not seen him play. Now, everybody's got a mama. And I could just imagine at the age of 39, my mama ain't seen me play all year.
Gotta win.
I'm getting ready to put on a show in the Super Bowl for nobody else but her. Like, she been there taking me, washing these pans. Like, I just think, everybody looking at it. No, we don't even look at how much people sacrifice. We talk about all these guys, how they got here. The one thing all these kids got in common, no matter where they came from, each one of them's got a mama. And Tom Brady's mom ain't been to see him play this year.
You're making a hell of a point, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to go back to Brett Favre when his dad passed away. And what everybody talks about what Brett Favre did that day, but what was more impressive is what his teammates did out of respect for him. They made circus catch after circus catch. I thought the teammates rose up for Brett Favre, and we could see that with Tom Brady and teammates rising up.
Which is why this game is big for him, Whit. This is huge for him. This game is so huge for him. I'm telling you guys, stop doing that. Don't do that to rings. Don't count a man rings and say.
You're a little bit of a Patriots hater, though,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you how the guy don't like losing. You can't hate because the guy don't like losing.
When you lose, you get beat up. You get beat up.
Yeah.
But 20 years later, I mean, people forget this. Magic Johnson was called Tragic Johnson for a while.
There you go.
I mean, Magic. It wasn't as linear as we think. If you go look at Phil Mickelson's gagged a lot. When Phil retired...
Don't compare Phil Mickelson to
Phil Mickelson will be considered an all-time top 20 great.
Yes.
We tend to be...
You just compared Tom Brady to Phil Mickelson, Colin. Take that back.
Hey, he's got
compare him to Tiger Woods. Make the analogy about Tiger Woods. Don't compare him to Phil Mickelson.
He's won a couple of Masters.
Phil Mickelson damn near as flabby as me. You compare Tom Brady to Phil Mickelson.
But the point being is, we tend to be, as fans, much more forgiving. You know, when Brett Favre, who, by the way, threw a lot of bad picks in a lot of big games, he's on that tractor, he's wearing those Wranglers. Who wants to criticize?
He ain't the greatest of all time, and I love Brett Favre.
But listen, you keep saying something. You keep saying that I'm this Patriots hater. I'm telling you the excellence of these guys. Well, listen, we keep saying Matt Ryan has more pressure. Matt Ryan has more pressure.
Because he's never been here before.
He's never been here before.
That's
so expectation is not high for Matt Ryan. There's no expectation for Matt Ryan. The only thing Matt Ryan got to come do is play a freaking regular football game that he's never played in before. Tom Brady has been in this game 7 times and knows what it feels like.
One of these people, you forget what it's like the first time, huh?
No,
I don't remember. Short and quick. I told y'all. First time for me was short and quick. It's very hard the first time you do something. That's a lot of pressure.
Let me tell you what you do remember.
Everybody get that joke.
No, we let that one go way over my head. Because I'm telling you, man, Brady is reason why he's so legendary and he will become one of the greatest legends to ever play this game is because he doesn't listen to what we're saying about if Brady loses, it's okay. Heck no, it's not okay if Brady loses.
Right.
That man coming in for one thing.
Baseball's a game of records and history. Football's not.
It's not.
It's not. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many touchdown passes Tom threw this year. If you go 20 years from now, if Tom loses and you're like, Brady, 4 rings, I'm out. That's good. I mean, seriously. I think in football, in baseball, it's a record sport. It's a number sport. Football, 4 rings.
Well, Colin, I sat up under a tree. Let me get you to understand something, Colin. This country talk. I sat up under a tree, and when I got home, and I had 4 old men sit up under that tree, the same old men that played me in high school. You know what they remembered?
What?
They said, your first game back, you beat Andrew Luck. Your next game back, you beat Peyton Manning. The next game back, you beat Tom Brady. And the next game back, you beat Colin Cowherd. That's all they remember.
Yeah. If you want to impress me, you beat up Colin.
Tom Brady got a lot to
We're going to ask Jordan one question before we get a Super Bowl pick. Bears gonna sign Tony Romo? Y'all gonna be in the Tony Romo sweepstakes?
I don't know about all that.
Don't tell me you want Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I want Jay Cutler back.
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't accept no line.
I do.
You don't accept no line. Why would you want Jay Cutler?
He ain't get a fresh shot this year.
Don't do that to Jordan. He's a young guy, man. time. Stop. He likes Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Even though Jay Cutler sucks.
Wait, no.
He likes it. He likes Jay Cutler. You keep saying the right thing. Hey, let us handle that, man. Jay Cutler plays. Look, Jay Cutler's play is like a baby's diaper.
Chris Carter's still here. Colin, we got a lot of icing on this.
You need a quarterback in this group. There's a lot of wide receivers. Somebody got to guard these guys. Hold them accountable.
I told Greg Jennings yesterday about outdressing me. You didn't get the memo. Don't come on here outdressing me. You can't outdress me.
I'm sorry. It's my day off. It's my day off.
Young Usher Raymond here. All right. Let's talk to Tony Romo, whose future has been the subject of speculation all year. Reportedly, the Cowboys will listen to offers for Romo soon. And for his part, Romo has reportedly named 4 teams he would like to play for: the Texans, the Chiefs, the Broncos, or the Cardinals. Here's Arizona head coach Bruce Arians on the Herd earlier today on his team's possible interest in Romo.
Hey, there's a couple things out there about your quarterbacks I got to ask. The Tony Romo thing, he's a little brittle, but I love him. If he was on the market, would you be interested?
Only if we didn't have Carson.
Okay.
If Carson retired, then we're going to look at every option there is.
Tony's pretty good, coach.
Yes, he is. He's got a good resume.
All right, so Colin, we have the first reports on who Romo might be interested in. Should the Cowboys allow Romo to dictate where he ends up?
Generally, my rule if I ran a team would be no. But I think in this instance, I would make an exception for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't think you can get much for him in a trade. I really don't. He's 36, he's brittle, so I'm not giving up much. And secondly, he carried that franchise when they didn't have a great offensive line and they didn't have a defense and the Cowboys were whiffing on drafts. He's been an incredible member of that family, and I think there are rare instances when it's just basic humanity that Romo has elevated Jerry Jones' net worth substantially, took a beating for a decade. This offensive line, you know how they got all those good guys? For being lousy for about 10 years. I think in this instance, I would say, listen, Tony, don't go to Washington. Don't go to the Giants. If you stay away from our division, I'm going to release you, and you go choose.
I don't want him anywhere in the NFC. I don't want him in Arizona. I don't listen. If Tony Romo were to beat me and to knock me out of the Super Bowl in the NFC, that's a little too much to ask. Other than that, if he wants to go play anywhere in the AFC, if we have to see Tony Romo as the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, I'm fine with that. But not in the NFC. And so I would scratch Arizona off that list. That's a pretty good team that fell back this year. You get the right quarterback play, they could be a problem for somebody. But I say you got to push him out to the AFC.
Business is business, regardless of the fact that Jerry Jones is very close. But Jerry Jones has been close to his players for 25 years. I mean, he is one of the rare owners that has a special relationship with his players, especially with the star players. One thing Dallas has gotten right in the last several years is that draft. I would get some type of pick for them. They have not been wasting picks. They have gotten great value out of their draft picks. If you get a 3rd rounder, 4th rounder for them last year, Teddy got hurt. Minnesota's a great example. They gave up a 1 and a 4 for him. So I ain't just giving him up. I don't care how much money I done made with him. Players are a commodity. All right? I'm not giving him up until I get something worth value. They're not playing in the game. They're not playing in the game because they don't have enough good players. So I would parlay Greg, into getting a draft pick or at least a player for Tony Romo.
I'm the pro player here.
No, you can't.
Chris is like, get him out of here.
Well, because you can't allow a guy to dictate where he's gonna go play.
Yes.
When I was in Green Bay, we had a unique situation with Brett. He retired, wanted to come back and play. It was a little scuffle in-house of, okay, we don't want to make this too big of a deal. We want to honor Brett, but they knew if they allowed Brett to choose where he wanted to go, he would have went over to the Vikings right now. Right. Why? To get back at this organization. When it comes to allowing a player to go where they want to go, it's touchy because, yes, has he been with Dallas? Do they have a great relationship? He and Jerry Jones? Yes. But You don't want to see him in that Redskins jersey. I don't care who you are. Dallas fans don't want to see it. As Jerry Jones wouldn't want to see it and see it come back to bite him. And now we're talking about something completely different.
Stephon, if you build that kind of resume in Minnesota over a decade, 12, 13, 14 years, how would you want to be dealt with in this situation? Would you feel like you've done enough to where you should be able to dictate how your career ends?
At the end of the day, I feel like it's business. You know, I'm a business guy. I approach things business-like. So it's business at the end of the day. If you would hope for that, you know, just for as relationship-wise and respect that everything that you've done, you would hope for that. But it's business at the end of the day. I would expect them to want something for him in the trade or of that nature just because it's business at the end of the day.
It's pretty funny. All the players are like, it's business.
But I'm
It's business. Hey, now
him in that situation, he want to be able to go where he wants to go.
I know,
from a
but
player
I'm
standpoint.
the cynical journalist. I'm like, no, have a heart. You guys are all like, no, there's no heart.
time for that. There's no time for that.
because we know better.
Yeah, we know how to
what's
business
gonna
it.
happen.
He's been in that position.
And who knew the journalist was a softie and the players were all heart? I'm all heart, man.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you. It's been.
Look, for both of you guys, in Minnesota, they have a legendary player, Adrian Peterson, whose time is coming to an end in Minnesota. Have they handled Adrian Peterson properly? Would you like to see Adrian back with the Minnesota Vikings this year, or it looks like they're going to make a business decision and let him go?
You know, from my point of view, you know, I'm not that high up. I don't control those type of decisions, but I love him as a player. You know, he probably can make a phone call or two, but I can't. So I love him as a player. You know, I would love to play with him and continue to play with him. But business, once again, if it permits itself, it'll happen. If not, I guess so.
Well, he's got a cap number of $17 million. Good job deferring to me, youngster. Rex Billman is the general manager. Biggs is a player. Now, this is Adrian's problem. For one, he doesn't realize what's going on. He thinks he's worth more value to the Vikings than what he is. His cap number's too high. Adrian Peterson has not practiced on a regular basis in 3 years. Okay? So the Vikings, they do have an issue with that. All right? They have an issue wondering, can he get through a season? And you can't play that physical type of style that he plays without practicing. So I believe that the Vikings are going to move on from him because not only does Adrian want that money, Adrian would like to have an extension. So I just don't believe his expectations of the Vikings are realistic.
How about Sam Bradford? Is he said, are you guys comfortable with him coming back as your starting quarterback next year?
As you can see, he made something happen. He's a very special kind of guy because, you know, he didn't have OTAs, he didn't have minicamp, he didn't have training camp. And to come out there and kind of put things together with limited, you know, guys go down. Even I went down. Our coach even got banged up. Everybody's banged up. And he still stayed the course. He still was productive. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think he's a special guy. Going in OTAs and minicamp, I'll spend a lot more time with him, and I think something special is going to happen. You're going to see.
Welcome back. Greg Jennings and Jason McIntyre are still with us. Big thanks to all of you for coming out this week. We really appreciate it. All right, so let's get to the game. On one side, we've got the Patriots looking to avenge Deflategate and win their 5th Super Bowl of the Brady-Belichick era. And on the other side, we've got a likely MVP, Matt Ryan, and the Falcons trying to erase decades of pain with the franchise's first Super Bowl win. Our guests have been split all week long between the Patriots and the Falcons. So, Greg, let's start with you. Who you got winning the Super Bowl Sunday?
It's easy for me. I like this, what they've done all year. I'm going Atlanta Falcons.
Rise up!
Matt Ryan's fairy tale season ends. He turns into a pumpkin.
Who you picking?
Patriots, 29-16. This is the Speak for Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. What a fun week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We received your texts and your Facebook comments and all the new subscribers. Thanks so much. We had a blast in Houston. The party goes on this weekend. We'll be back Monday for full-blown Super Bowl coverage. Talk to you then.